welcome to Caesar Snack Sandwich. Today I'm going to be taking a quick look at dexVAULTs. Now dexVAULTs is a pretty interesting project for me. I kind of like this idea. They are basically some vaults, like kind of like, you know, Yearn or BV or something like that, but they have a twist on them that makes them unique and interesting and worth talking about, okay? If you would like to support the channel, I would suggest you to check out the secretsandwich.xyz. It's the Secret Sandwich NFT project. You can come here, you can mint an NFT, or you can come and check out your NFTs. Okay, so let's get back to it. So right now they're currently deployed on these 4 chains. So you can, you know, BNB, Fantom, Canto, and Optimism. Today I'm going to use Canto just because, you know, I've got some money there that I can show you how to use this. Today I don't have a flowchart for you. I don't think I need to use a flowchart to explain this. I'm just going to kind of go through the process of making a vault and show you what it's like, okay? So the key thing, there's a few key things in here that make it different than what a beefy vault is. First of all is that they farm multiple farms in the same vault. The second thing is that they are permissionless, so anyone can create a vault. And the third thing is that they have this like take profit idea, okay? So I'm gonna go through the steps to make a vault for you, and you can kind of see, you know, I'll throw some ideas and some comments in as I go along, okay? So first thing, we go to create a vault, and it's pretty simple. You want to choose the farms that you want to do. I'm currently set to Canto, so this is gonna go through the list of vault farms, the yield farms that are out there right now. So I'm gonna make something that's kind of you know, promotes my, you know, my Velocimeter project a little bit. So I'm going to make something, I'm going to call it Go With The Flow. So first one I'm going to add is add this flow Canto, right? And then I'm going to choose another farm. And if you go through here, you can kind of see what the APRs are and so forth, what it's like. And I'm going to add ETH flow, and I'm going to add maybe this note flow as well. So all flow LPs, providing liquidity and so forth. So you can adjust this. Like if you want to be dominant in one of these, you can, you know, turn this one down to say 30 and then turn this one up to 34 or whatever. You can change the APRs and it gives you a little readout of what they can kind of expect, you know. So maybe you don't want to be so exposed to the impermanent loss. So you might bring this down to 20 and bring this up a little bit to 40, right? So anyhow, you get the idea. So this is something you can kind of decide on yourself, design and so forth and that, okay? So now this thing here is this take profit. Now what take profit does is this is a yield compounder. So it's going to harvest the flow, right? It's going to kind of sell the flow and put it into these LPs like a normal beefy vault. But they have this thing called take profit where you can take some portion from 0 all the way up to 99% of those flow tokens and sell them for something else, okay? So I'm going to be conservative here because, you know, I don't want to dump tons, but maybe I'll put like 10%, right? So 10% of the flow that is harvested from these 3 pools in the gauges will be taken, set aside, okay? Now, where will that flow be put? Okay, so they've got these options right now, and these options are constantly increasing and so forth. But basically, it will take that flow and put it into like a spot index of these different tokens. So if you want it to be like Canto and Note, or you want to be 50-50 Canto Note, or ETH Maxi, like it depends on the ones you want. And if you click on this, it kind of shows you like the weightings of these. So it's not 50-50 ETH in this case. It would be like 80% ETH and 20% USDC in that case. So basically, it's kind of like sell a little bit of this this flow and buy these tokens and put them to the side for me to come back later and pick them up. So I guess I will just go with this Canto Maxi because I don't know, just whatever. That's what I'm going to do with this specific vault. Okay, so then we press the create button, and it pops up and says, oh, you know, you got to spend some gas. And take note of this. You know, there's a fair amount of gas because you are creating like deploying contracts to a blockchain. So if you're doing this on like certain chains, you might want to consider how much that might cost you to do this. So then, boom. Now we have to wait a little bit So for everything to, to sign, and then for everything to load and stuff like that. So I'll just pause here for a second and I'll cut this out. So as we see here now, the vault has been created and there's a little countdown, and then we're going to go back to the main page, right? So we go back to the main page, and then we have all these public vaults that are already published and so forth. And then we have my vaults, right? So this is the vault I just created, right? So it doesn't have any funds inside it yet. There's no TVL, there's no wallets that have started to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit it. I'm going to open it up and show you that at this point you can still edit things. You can come and change things. You'll have to pay gas to edit. You can kind of change the ETF, like the take profit token, right? And then we can come down here and we can see kind of like what the features are. We could add some tokens, and I'm going to add some tokens to it. I'm going to add these USDC. But before I do that, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to publish it. So I'm going to call this going with the flow. And publisher's name, Caesar. This is a flow. This is totally going with the flow. I'm just going to make it whatever, okay? Because I'm not going to explain every little thing. So I'm going to sign this, and then I'm going to publish it. Now, the reason why I'm publishing it first is because if you do not publish it first, then you won't be able to, if you deposit money into it, you won't be able to publish it. You have to publish it before you deposit money into it. There's something about just the math of publishing it after it has money inside it. So just keep that in mind if you do want to make one. Now, it does say here, by publishing your strategy, you allow other participants to join at the gas expense in compounding. So just like a normal auto compounder. And I missed the rest. And basically it gives you 1% of the harvest fee. Okay, so now let's go to this My Vaults again. And we kind of go through here. There are some fees here. As you can see, there's a deposit fee. So anytime you deposit, they take a small piece. There's a withdrawal fee. There's a harvest fee, which is basically like a performance fee, and then a migration fee. A migration fee is if you want to just take your money out of this vault and put it into another vault. Now, I have talked to the team, and they said that they're considering changing these. So these numbers might differ when you come here than what I'm showing you right now. So I've got this public, right? It's published. It's owned by me. I'm going to come here and I'm going to show you just putting some USDC inside. Of course, you have to approve spending. And then we wait for the approved spending transaction to go through and things to reload. So let's wait on that. Okay, so it is approved. And now I'm going to actually send the deposit transaction. Okay, so it's deposited. Now it'll take a few seconds to show up. So as you see, there's some TVL in there. I lost a little bit, about $8 in fees and so forth on that. Maybe it's less than $8, but you saw, right? Now we do have some tabs here that will start to populate with like data as things start to build up. There's the profit here where you will see that like, oh, you will get your Canto note tokens building up here, and you can kind of come and take these profits. So if I press this take profit, it will pull this out of the vault, out of the contracts, and give it to me. There's this manual harvest, so I can enable or disable auto harvest. It basically as you can see, the next auto harvest will be in 15 hours, and it says if you want this to auto harvest every day, then you need to add about $1,100 more dollars so that it makes sense to pay the fees, pay the gas, and have this harvesting every week. We have this migrate as well, which I kind of showed you is like a way I can take the money out of this vault and put it into another vault if I want to just move it between vaults, and I won't have to pay the withdrawal fee. And then we have this share where I can just kind of tweet it out and share that this is something I've done, and I will share this. I will put this in the tweet as well as in the description of this video. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you is that when you do get this profit in here, right? So when this profit does start to build up and you do take profit and you withdraw it, you will have to go to dexETFs.com and you will be able to see all of these different all of these different like ETFs here, and it's pretty simple. It's basically just those tokens. Like if you remember that, like, oh, I wanted this 50-50 Canto 50-50, or I was the Canto Maxi, whichever the ones you have in your wallet, you would come here, view the fund. It would kind of tell you like, oh, how much you have in your wallet, and then you can kind of burn it. You can just burn them, right, into the underlying assets, or you can burn them into both of the assets. Just take them out of this this holding contract, right? Now, this holding contract doesn't have yield on it, so it's not interest bearing, but they are talking about increasing the amount of ETF possibilities per chain. So you can kind of check this out all the time and maybe decide that you don't want to use Canto Maxi ETF anymore. You want to use something else. So we are in talks with them to make a flow ETF. So some tokens and some flow tokens as well. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you is that it also has zappability. If I go to my vault, and let's say I wanted to use USDC, USDT, Canto, Atom, or some of the LPs that are inside here already. So if you have LPs created, you can get in this way. The only thing you cannot do with this is go in with the right side token, like in this case, flow, right? You wouldn't be able to get it. You have to go in from standard blue chips or the LP token. So you'd have to create the LP and come here, or, you know, come with the underlying tokens. Now, if this is kind of good for the flow token itself, because as you saw, I put $900 of USDC, and what did it do? It took $900 of USDC and it bought all of these tokens with it. So it bought some Canto, it bought some Flow, it bought some ETH Flow, and all of this kind of stuff. And that's basically why I lost some money on it, because those tokens were, you know, there's some slippage, some trading fees on all of these pools, as well as the fee of depositing and so forth. So that's pretty much it for today. Of course, you know, you can withdraw and stuff. I hope this has been useful and interesting, and I hope you like it. I really like it. I really like this idea of being able to take profit. So you don't have to like come every once in a while and decide to withdraw some. You can kind of just set aside a little bit of the profit so that you don't get wrecked, right? Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.